let's take it real soon. You know we got what you need, baby, so take it, move along. I said we got what you need, honey, come and groove along. Come on. Rolling on the highway and the beat up. Wow! Come on.
hit that go live. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And welcome to Jubilee Circle. Thank you for joining us in here. Thank you for joining us out there. We're very happy to have you here. If you need a bulletin here, you have one over there on the round table. If you need a bulletin out there watching on YouTube, there is a link in the description, or also at jubileecircle.com right there on the front page. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever, and some say you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say that they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact. But I've heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love and I live my life accordingly, but I choose to let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. But I choose to let the mystery be. Oh yeah, all right. All right, welcome again to Jubilee Circle. We're happy that you have joined us this morning on this hot August day. And we are continuing our VIA Positiva theme of loving what is. A Course in Miracles tells us to look at the crucifixion but not dwell on it. And that just means that we have to clearly see the world for what it is and love this place for what it is. So then we can become the love and the light that's required to awaken ourselves and everyone else. When I was a kid, my mother gave me a book called Answers in the Bible. Kind of funny now.
We get to joke now, right?
Right, we can joke now. It covered everything a young person might be interested in having answers for, and the answer to all my questions was the same: it's a sin. Yep. Years later, when I was in seminary, my New Testament professor said, and I quote, "If you read the Bible and you come away with more answers than questions, you've misunderstood it." And that was the moment that I felt the weight of having to know all the answers lifted from my shoulders. This professor said what I knew deep inside all along: questions are often far more valuable than answers. A Course in Miracles tells us that no matter what decision we actually make in this bodily world, it's ultimately wrong, even if we have all the evidence that it is right, because we have no idea about all the other variables that are going on in every decision that we make. We only know the limited factors that we perceive in the moment. So how do you proceed if you'll always be getting it wrong no matter what you decide? Well, you have faith. But not faith in some daddy God in the sky outside of yourself. You have faith in the wisdom that resides within you, within each of us, that realm of God within. Just because our choices are never quote unquote right in the opinion of this ego world, it doesn't mean that they are not wise when they are informed by and based upon our inner divine guidance. I used to believe all those answers from the Bible, but now I know better. I know that whatever arises in my experience is here to help me perceive deeper, to create a happy dream that leads to my ultimate awakening, but not just mine, everybody else's. The Apostle Paul said that in this world we see through a glass darkly, but when we awaken, all will be revealed. And Bruce Clark, our esteemed guitar player here in CC and the Recalcitrants, will be speaking to us this morning, and he is going to remind us about all those don't know moments. And it is in those, remember, the Jubilee salute is, I don't know. And it is in those don't know moments that we find the most beautiful things that will certainly make us say, oh yeah. Please rise as you're able. And as we do every Jubilee Circle celebration, we begin by remembering the elements, the air, the water, the earth, and the fire. There's no fire there. Hang on. There we go. I have made fire. And we center ourselves in this safe and sacred time by calling the four directions. And we burn sage as a reminder that it is a safe and a sacred time. And I invite you to turn and face the east. We know the science behind every sunrise. We know for a fact that the sun never really rises or sets, but the rotation of the earth just makes it appear that way. And even though we know that, we still love the romantic mystery of a rising and setting sun. So we insist on keeping that language of mystery. Holy One, give us that kind of wisdom as we begin each new day, the ability to hold the certainty of mystery in beautiful balance. Quarter turn to the right, we face the south. Science has also made us certain that it is the tilt of our hemisphere toward the sun that brings the warm weather of the south. As we in this part of the world sweat it out, over on the other side of the world, August is considered the winter. Again, we're stuck. We're struck by this mysterious paradox of our life on this planet. We're sweating in the heat as our counterparts shiver. Give us the wisdom, Holy One, to understand not everyone experiences the world as we do. Help us to enjoy each other as a blessed mystery. Quarter turn to the right, we face the west. As the darkness overtakes us this night and every night, remind us, Holy One, of the mystery of sunrise going on in another part of the world. We get caught up in our reality, our certainties of life. We forget that others around the world are caught up in their own realities and certainties. Help us to ponder the mysteries that infuse this world, and help us not get too caught up in our own sense of certainty. Quarter turn to the right, face the north. When the coldness of life enters our world, Holy One, we're certain it's going to last forever. We'll never again feel the warmth of spring. But assure us, Holy One, that you are at work when the cold and the dark times come. Help us to trust in the mystery of new growth beneath the frozen tundra. And as we turn back toward the center, you'll find a bunch of people who are certain about some things and uncertain about a lot more other things. So I invite you in this safe and sacred space to hold both your certainty and your uncertainty lightly, because the two can often swap places. I invite you to make room at the table for both trust that both are working, both mystery and certainty are working in every moment to bless us deeply, because when we feel the blessings of both of them, that's when we get to say, oh yeah. All right, remain standing. We're going to sing a little opening number that Bruce often plays. They often play with the Sunshine Delusions, called What the Elephants Know.
Back seat and I waited. We don't know what we don't know, said the man in the song. All night I had meditated. We don't know what the antelopes know. We don't know what the crocodiles know, what the elephants know. We don't know what the polar bears know. We don't know what the aliens know, what the elephants know. Before all the humans were beings at all, before blue eyes sang my way, the Garden of Eden was a whole wide world, not just a diner off the highway. They don't know what the antelopes know. They don't know what the crocodiles know, what the elephants know. We don't know what the polar bears know. We don't know what the aliens know, what the elephants know. Jungle and the snakes in the grass are all going about their business. The seasons they come and go, and they shave the land. What's hanging around for Christmas? We don't know what the antelopes know. We don't know what the crocodiles know, what the elephants know. We don't know what the polar bears know. We don't know what the aliens know, what the elephants know. We don't know what the killer whales know. We don't know what the buffalo know, what the elephants know. We don't know what the porcupine know. We don't know what the wildebeest knows, what the elephants know.
Right.
James Maddock tune. James Maddock.
I enjoyed that one.
Oh, yeah. So welcome again. Welcome again. Yeah, that one's a fun one. So welcome again, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. A little bit about Jubilee. We are an inclusive, progressive interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina, broadcasting around the world. We teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that you find in all mainstream religions, metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and inspired secular and religious writers and teachers throughout the ages. We use popular music, teachings, weekly celebrations, educational and artistic events, all these community building activities, because we're trying to create a space for everyone to experience transformation so then they can go out and be that transformation in the world. And we believe we're here to expand our souls, to find a deeper meaning in life, renew our commitment to love and peace and justice, learn how to love wastefully, and undergo a transformation so complete from the inside out that we can't help but just be that transformation everywhere we are in the world. We also recognize we're part of God's good creation. We're formed in both love and joy, but we forget this. We get out of mama and we look around and we see you over here and them over there, and then all the judging starts. And we look at this world of paradox and we say, they're beautiful, they're ugly, they're good, they're bad, they're generous, they're stingy, those people are so loving, and those people, though, so recalcitrant. Recalcitrant. But let us remember our function here, Jubilants. It is to remember that we have never left the mind of God. We are all still at home, but fast asleep, and our call here is to awaken everyone, to awaken ourselves, so we can all say, oh, yeah. All right. Hear these wise and holy words. From the Upanishads, translated by W.B. Yeats. We have, for my live guys, we have no readings. Just focus on my lovely visage. Exactly. Yeah, do the impossible. Make me look good. Eye cannot see it, tongue cannot utter it, mind cannot grasp it. There is no way to learn or to teach it. It is different from the known beyond the unknown. It is all the ancient masters, in this all the ancient masters agree. That which makes the tongue speak, but which cannot be spoken by the tongue, that alone is God, not what people worship. That which makes the mind think, but which cannot be thought by the mind, that alone is God, not what people worship. That which makes the eye see, but which cannot be seen by the eye, that alone is God, not what people worship. That which makes the ear hear, but which cannot be heard by the ear, that alone is God, not what people worship. If you think that you know God, you know very little. All that you can know are ideas and images of God. I do not know God, nor can I say that I don't know it. If you understand the meaning of I neither know nor don't know, you understand God. Those who realize that God cannot be known, truly known. Those who claim that they know nothing. The ignorant think that God can be grasped by the mind. The wise know it beyond knowledge. When you see that God acts through you in every moment, in every movement of mind or body, you attain true freedom. When you realize the truth and cling to nothing in the world, you enter eternal life. And from the Hebrew scriptures, Ecclesiastes 1, 12 through 18. This is the Message version. Call me the quester. I've been king over Israel and Jerusalem. I looked most carefully into everything, searched out all that is done on this earth, and let me tell you, there's not much to write home about. God hasn't made it easy for us. I've seen it all, and it's nothing but smoke and spitting into the wind. Life's a corkscrew that can't be straightened, a minus that won't add up. I've said to myself, I know more, and I'm wiser than anyone before me in Jerusalem. I have stockpiled wisdom and knowledge. What I finally concluded is that so-called wisdom and knowledge are mindless and witless, nothing but spitting into the wind. Much learning earns you much trouble. The more you know, the more you hurt. These are wise and holy words. All creation, thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Let's stand and sing. Do a little dancing, because what do we know? All right, Bruce, start us off.
Walking along the road, and I asked him, tell me, where are you going? This he told me. Well, I'm going down to Yaska's farm, gonna join in a rock and roll band. Gonna get back to the land and let my soul free. We are stardust, we are golden, we are billion-year-old carbon, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden.
Well, again I walk beside you. I have come to lose the small, and I feel myself a cog in something turning. And maybe it's the time of the year. Yes, and maybe it's the time of May. And I don't know who I am, but life is so early.
We are stardust, we are golden, we are billion-year-old carbon. We've got to get ourselves back to the garden. We are stardust, we are golden, we are billion-year-old carbon, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden.
Oh, yeah. You may be seated. All right. So this morning, we have a treat for you. Bruce said to me one day, he said, I'd like to speak one day, and never say that to me unless you're serious. Because my answer is always going to be, okay, when can we do that? How long do you need? And so Bruce is an amazing man. He has a lot to say. He's a very deep thinker, and he expresses himself on the guitar. He does. That's the voice that you hear him speak through. But today, I want you to hear, I'm not feeling his butt. There we go. Okay. Now
Is it on?
It's on now.
Okay.
So this this is an honor for me. I like that Bruce just came up and said, let's do this. And so
So you won't have to,
so I won't have to.
which is okay.
Well, let's give it up, though, for
No,
Bru-
well, let's
Bruce
see
Clark.
let's see if we feel the same way after.
I'm sure we will.
Okay.
It's all yours, man.
Yeah, this had an original working title of I Think and I Know Things, but that doesn't necessarily mean I should believe it. So what do you know? What do I know? Okay. That was the old show on NPR radio, but not much. You used to love that show, and then it was all over.
First thing you know is old Jed's a
Yeah. Okay, so what do we know? Well, you know what nearly killed me when I was first, and probably a whole lot of other people when I was first growing up? stairs. Yeah, and ladders. Now, they tell me that I climbed a piano when I was 3. You know, top of old upright grand piano, you know, tall piano. But stairs can be intimidating. And even to climb to stairs, have you ever climbed stairs to State House building? Yeah? Yeah, I mean, I hope you don't ever have to climb them if you don't want to. But most powerful I've ever felt in my life, I climbed to the top of the State House steps with my little guitar and with Leslie, and we sang Neil Young's Harvest Moon together. Yeah, that was a few years ago, and things have changed way since then. That was way back in the good old days, you know, before things happened. But anyway, when we're children, we learn how to climb them, and we bound up steps 2 and 3 at a time, you know, and it's not intentionally rude, I don't think, but so much as expressive of our youthful strength and power. And as we are nursing bruises and often bearing scars of how we were injured falling up or down the stairs, in some cases, we learn a fear and respect for stairs and a self-awareness of our vulnerability and eventually sensible behavior, because one day we're ascending and descending stairs the same way a toddler does. So when I got out of high school, thing boggled my imagination was hierarchies. Let's have a look at the word, shall we? A system or organization in which people or groups are ranked one above the other, ascending to status or authority. Okay, that's the dictionary definition. And so maybe I thought it's because maybe the playing field should seem a little bit more level, but it's not really getting any more level these days. It's actually looking more and more like a steep, slippery, muddy road up the side of a mountain on a rainy night. No stairs I'd trust myself on there, or ladders, or crossing a river on a drawbridge and it gets stuck. So the phrase that stuck in my mind, you know, I was thinking about all this. Be very nice to all the people that you meet on your way up, because they're the same people you're going to meet on your way back down. And it's how hard and how fast is that excursion? So if people at the top of the stairs have power over me, I must have power over the people at the lower rungs, you know. So as youngsters, we're viciously ageist. And so you might go, give me that right now. Why? Because I said so. I'm the oldest and I'm in charge. And your results may have varied, but you may have had experiences like this. But ageism is a hierarchy too attached to abstract constructions of time. Emotional maturity is the ability to respond rather than merely react. And you will inevitably react, but you can choose a nonviolent response. And one of the hardest things I ever had to learn was how younger guitar players like Eddie Van Halen kicked my butt on guitar. He died in 2020 at the age 65. And I'm 65 now. It's about what we think we know, or worse yet, what we believe. So at this point, I define belief as ego. Belief equals ego. I had for years believed that Eddie Van Halen was younger than I was, and I thought it was because he looked younger than I did. I didn't really know, but this guy outranked me on guitar. And by that time, I'd become the guitar playing had become my raison d'etre, my reason for being, and my own belief in my talent wasn't helping matters. I had no awards, no records. I entered songwriting contests, but got no prizes, no runner-ups, no participation trophies, no medals, no swag, no pins, no nothing. I have recordings, but no solid commercial releases. And so my recordings are like sold as one-off art, but had loads of determination, And I worked hard at it. But I didn't know everything I needed to know. And I had a bookshelf full of pseudoscience and conspiracy theories, but that's a story for another day. So before you, ladies and gentlemen, transcendental beings, stands a total non-authority on anything. I don't even have an undergrad degree. So you don't you love that description, undergrad degree? Undergrad. It's a degree out to, but to be really, you got to get out from under and go to get a master's degree. So when I did a vivisection of the academy in my own readings and such books like Killing the Spirit by Paige Smith, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Pirsig, that gets really intense about page 100. Pretty easy to follow until you get there, and then, So, I learned that the PhD was looked upon by suspicion by some conservatives at the time, so cue that joke. What is it? Bachelor of Science is bull stuff, and Master of Science is more stuff, and PhD is piled higher and deeper. And that's a conservative joke, I might add. As conservatives, people may call me a liberal, but I studied at a conservatory. Get it? Music school. Having said we're suffering from a decay of respect towards academia across the country. And academia is wincing like a deer in the headlights at the nearest age, which could have been described as Philosopher King's stage, to be snatched away by unfalsifiable narratives coupled with conspiracy theories. Morally and ethically bankrupt individuals caught up in some might makes right, swaggering hubris, comic book superheroes and cosplay of billionaires, hand puppeting the politicians. I looked at all that. So when I was at USC, I was talked out of seeking a performance degree in classical guitar by my instructor, and that was a pretty wise move. I don't think I would have had the patience for it. I got an Pell Grant in my second year and used some of the money to buy a decent classical guitar because the guitars at Carolina, the rental guitars they had, were not of very high quality. And it's like they didn't take a guitar major very seriously back then. And maybe they weren't, But by my third year, I no longer qualified. Mom had moved up to management for any more grants, and my parents had divorced when I was 18. So I changed my major to media arts and learned how to edit and record song recordings in analog and edit with a razor blade and edit all bar, skills that translate into digital world in unique ways, but it's not a very easy thing to get into. You don't just hand those jobs out, even when you got creds. So fast forward to today, I always wanted to go back to school. I'm interested in way too much. Linguistics, philosophy, semiotics, and dang, it's the curse of being curious. Curiosity. These days we have YouTube experts on everything. And does watching a few YouTube videos make you an expert? Well, it depends on what you're watching. I could watch all of Robert Sapolsky's neuroscience lectures. He videoed at Stanford University. And I still wouldn't have his experience with zebras and bonobos and chimpanzees and other animals in the wild. He actually worked with them critters, and so he wrote all this stuff down, and I just watch him talk about it, and it's fascinating, and it's like, but videos. No, cutting edge people today are using ChatGPT, and some probably is using ChatGPT to grow tomatoes on their patio, and I didn't this year. Too curious about too many things. And curiosity killed the cat is a fable. And dang if I didn't when I was young. No better. That's another story for another day. But being interested in too many things and highly distractible are not a good mix. I don't know. Some people are good at multitasking. Multitasking and high distractibility is not a very productive mix. And so ADHD people like myself sometimes need to tune others out so we can figure out who we are. And it's having the courage to admit we don't know what we don't know. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what we call shadow work. And sometimes it's like ruminating, and other times it's like lancing a boil. Deep, dark, ooky, ugly stuff. So this is like confession and absolution? Does it have to be like this forever? Really, is there such a thing as forever? All I'm saying is that when people believe they will live forever, or even viler yet, that if they die for their God, their cause, or their country, they will be rewarded in heaven, I think it cheapens and coarsens and vulgarizes people's lives. People might treat each other a whole lot better if they understood none of us lives forever. We want relief. We don't have to be 100% productive all of our waking hours. We don't have to know everything. And that doesn't mean that we have the right, privilege, or luxury to be willfully ignorant. Coming to terms with and learning compassion towards agnostic or atheist individuals, for example. A person cannot become atheist without first realizing they've been agnostic for a while. And it simply means, I don't know. We experience immediate relief from the little gears grinding away in our minds. Who's going to go to heaven? Who's not going to heaven? Well, are they living right? No. It's not ever to condemn a person for their beliefs, as long as their beliefs would not displace us, right? So, the chief belief, which displaces, misplaces, or disgraces, all of those are hierarchy words, by the way. People is the idea. All the beliefs that displace people is the idea of separation, when we're in fact all one. And we're not the victims of parallel or invisible hierarchies. And we're not sinners in the hands of an angry God. That was required reading when I was in high school. But there's a little tune that I wish that we'd eventually learn, but by Jethro Tull. Ian Anderson is the lyricist. He said, "And the minstrel in the gallery looked down on the rabbit run. And then he threw away his looking glass and saw his face in everyone." And let's everybody have an absolutely beautiful rest of our lives.
Oh, yeah. Miss Clark, everybody. It was wonderful, man. It was great. I turned you off. So, yeah, you can just hang on to that. We'll get it off. Get this thing off of me. All right. That would be Keith's. God calling. Right. Everybody breathe deeply. I was raised in a religion of certainty. I was raised to not ask questions, to just believe what was handed to you. And then I realized years later the kind of suffering that certainty can lead you to. Many years ago, my guitar teacher at the time, when I was living in Camden, my guitar teacher's son was killed in a car accident. And he had been drinking. He had drugs in his system. It was a one single car accident. He wrecked his car and he died. He was 20-something years old, very young. And it nearly broke my guitar teacher. It nearly broke this man. And I went in for a lesson one morning, and you know how things happen, especially when you're a pastor. We didn't even take the guitars out of the case. He needed to talk. And he told me, he went to the good old Methodist church there, and he said, "Do you know what someone told me at my son's funeral?" And I said, "Tell me." He said, "They told me that because my son," I don't know if I can get through this one, because my son died because of drugs and alcohol, that my son is in hell. They told me my son is in hell. He's crying at this point. We both are. And he said, can you tell me where my son is?" And I said, "I can't tell you where your son is, because I don't know." But it wasn't in hell. But what I believe to be true is that every single one of us goes back to God. That we have never left the arms of love. And when we leave here, that's where we go back. I can't tell you for certain that it's true, but that's what makes sense to me. And he said, verbatim, he said, "That's the best answer I've ever heard." Our certainty puts people in hell. Our certainty causes suffering. When we don't know, and we know that we don't know, and we don't just parrot what the religions tell us to say, that's when we show love. That's when we are kindness in the world. Whoever can tell a parent that their child is in hell is in hell right now. Do not ever let your certainty send you or anyone else to hell. If you don't know, say it, because that makes you much kinder than those who think they know. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. One thing I do know for certain, when you have a community, you need resources. And if you have a community that you want to see continue and go on and go forward, it needs your support, whether it's your time, your talent, or your monetary gifts. If there's a community, if there's something that is important to you, hopefully it's something that you will and can support. And so if you're watching on the YouTube, you can go to jubileecircle.com. There is a donate link there if you're in the room and you ain't got cash. There are QR codes that can help you out with that. And Jess is going to pass the basket around. So if you either however you want to do it, cash is great. Venmo, PayPal is great as well. And if you're out there and you want to send a good old-fashioned check, you can write that up to Jubilee Circle and put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and send it to Post Office Box 4611, Columbia, South Carolina 29240, and we will get it and cash it, and everyone will be happy. So thank you so much for your support that in the past, your support in the present, and your support in the future. It is what helps us do what we need to do. So let me give a few announcements before we let our online folks go. Coming up next Sunday, September 3rd, we're into September. Maybe this heat will start to let up. We're continuing our VIA Positiva theme of loving what is, and Agape licensed spiritual practitioner Deb Varn will be here to bring the message. Friday, September 8th at 6:30, you all are invited over to mine and Beth's house for our Go Deeper group. We're going to do a potluck and a discussion. We're going to make this a monthly gathering for those who just want to go deeper in their spiritual journey. We'll start with a potluck dinner. We'll listen to like a 30 to 40 minute talk from various spiritual teachers like Eckhart Tolle or Tara Brach or Michael Singer and others. And then after dinner, we'll discuss whatever resonated with us. So bring a dish to share, BYOB, and the address is in your bulletin. So just come on over and park wherever you want on the street, and we'll just have a good time. So, nothing, it'll be a true potluck, so just bring whatever. And we'll have our first meeting and see where we go. Coming up next month is our final cabaret, our monthly after dinner cabaret. It'll be Tuesday, September 12th and Thursday, September 14th. And this month, Lanny Spires, we get a 3 for Lanny, and Clayton and Vicky Say Henderson will be performing standards and show tunes. We'll have dessert and non-alcoholic beverages, BYOB otherwise, tickets $20. And then Friday, September 15th, that second week is packed. Stillhouse will be here in the living room. This is one of Columbia's premier bands, and if you have not heard them, they are fabulous. They play originals and covers. Tickets are $15 at the door, cash or card, snacks and non-alcoholic beverages, BYOB otherwise. And remember, 10:30 a.m. on Sundays is Soundy School right next door. Course in Miracles group meets 7:30 on Wednesday nights. And Julie is over here chomping at the bit.
Ready. How many of y'all are having a little bit of an allergy problem with all of this? Oh, and your nose is running and all of that. Well, imagine if you were on the street and all you had was your sleeve to wipe your nose on when you're going through this. We are doing treats for those on the street. So this is one of the items that you can bring and put in the box, or you can put money in and we can buy a collection of these. We're going to put together little goodie bags, and we're going to go out on the street and deliver those to those we see that are homeless on the street. And I bet this will be one thing they will treasure, especially right now, is just the little tissues. Date for the distribution, I'll let you know in the next week or so, but we are trying to gather up the items. Let's go and find God out on the street, because he's there. He's there with every one of those people. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
There's a list right over by the brown box. Really, think about any kind of small thing, not necessarily food items. However, I saw a neat idea on YouTube, and they did McDonald's gift cards. And there are, McDonald's handy for any of those that are out on the street. So instead of giving them money, we could give them a gift card if you wanted to do something like that. But the list is over there: toothbrushes, toothpaste, Kleenexes, socks. Because even though it's hot and it's summertime, they try to find the best socks that they can, not those thin things, but nice thick ones because of the shoes that they're wearing and they're on their feet so much. So socks. Check the list, and we'll take just about anything. Gift cards or cash, or someone gave us a gift card to Dollar Tree. So, think about what you can contribute. Look around your house. You may have some little items that you picked up here and there. Bring those, and we'll distribute those. And like I said, we're going to go find God. Thank you.
All right. So, Bob?
I'd just like to announce that the reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. That was Bob Barker.
Yeah, Bob Barker died, not Bob Baxter. So if you were mourning Bob Baxter, he's still here. Yay! Yes, I was so relieved when you walked in, Bob. Oh, and you don't look 99, so you got that going for you. That's right. Yes. Still have your pets spayed or neutered, as Bob Barker always used to say. And we're going to release y'all who are watching us on the YouTube. And remember, if the only prayer you ever say your entire life is thank you, that will be enough, as Meister Eckhart tells us. And so together we say thank you, and we say